Welcome to Friday Night Chats with Garage Geek. It's actually Saturday morning. It's kind of early. It's 8:45. I was all set to do my chat yesterday, but at around, I don't know, noon or 1, my husband was like, "Hey, let's go walking around." And we had planned to go to the local record store anyway. So I was ready for it, but we actually made almost a whole evening of it. So we were going to go to the local record shop because it was record store day, but the day before, the guy at Gimme Records, which is our local record shop, he posted a video saying, "Oh, I wasn't really going to take part in record store day, but at the last minute I ordered like 8 titles," and he showed them on the video. Nothing that I wanted. I didn't really want anything from record store anyway. Record store day anyway. I usually just go to support, and I usually buy at least something. If I don't buy any of the record store day things, I buy something from the shop. So anyways, we went there, right, and there wasn't much, but we did end up buying some other things. So I'll show you what we bought. My husband was insisting on this. It was $15, and I was like, "We have this," and he's like, "No, we don't. And so I went ahead and bought it. I know if any of my punk people, I got in a lot of trouble for showing Phil Collins. I don't care. I like Phil Collins. But $15 for this is the extended mix. He's like, "I love the song. I love it." So I went ahead, and that's the only thing he wanted. So I went ahead and bought it. $15 for Susudio. It's not even one of his best songs. But I'm going to show you. I haven't confirmed whether I have that single or not. But I will show you. I have some record frames in a part of the room that you can't see. And here's a picture. Like, I have this one, which is the album. And then there's the single. So I know, right? Too much Phil Collins for a lot of you. So that was his pick. And then I just grabbed a couple, starting from the cheapest. I found a Righteous Brothers album. And I mean, normally I buy older albums because of the beautiful covers, but I do really like the Righteous Brothers. I only have a couple of theirs. It was $4, and I thought, why not? Because I didn't have much else. Then there were actually 3 Rainbow albums that I was tempted to buy because they were so cheap. They were $6. But I told myself, look, you have too many albums, and you have to be selective, right? The other one is the guitar going through the eyes, and that's a pretty cool cover. And then the third one was the doctors putting on gloves. I actually might have that one. But this one, I thought, this is such a cool cover, and I think it's one of their earlier albums. Oh, it's not a gatefold, sorry. It's a wraparound. And I went ahead and I let myself buy it. It must be the Rainbow. But anyways, oh, well, they're called Rainbow. Duh. Why did I just make that connection? So down to earth. So yeah, $6 for that one. And then this one, Devadip Oneness. I don't know if that's what that says. I have a sneaking suspicion. I don't know if I have this one or not. But if I do, it's not in this good a condition, or I've picked it up before. But this one was looking brand new. And it's got this beautiful gatefold cover. If I can open it. It's got this beautiful gatefold cover. I mean, look at that. It's got some... This side, anyways, has some interesting inner art. I have no idea what kind of hippy-dippy stuff this is going to be. Maybe it's jazz. I don't know. So, I look forward to giving that a spin. It'll be a while, though, because I dismantled my room, and I actually took apart my stereo. I'm going to try to get new speakers, but I won't get them for at least a month or so. So my stereo is out of commission. I'm stuck to listening to Spotify. Like, I have a speaker, like a long speaker box. I borrowed it from my husband. And so I'm stuck right now. What are you calling it? Casting? No, Bluetoothing? I don't know what that's called. But anyways, I send the Spotify from an old phone through that speaker. I use Bluetooth, and I'm stuck with that for a while. But you know what? I did it to myself. I needed to do it anyway because my receiver finally just gave up. It all it has is a short, but I had to keep pushing in the speaker button, and I would have to put tape. There was like a short, and so it would come, and I have to keep doing it. Finally, that just stopped. So instead of like opening it up and trying to fixing it, I just put it out on the curb with a couple of other things. Somebody grabbed it. That's just the way I do things. I don't know. Something wrong with me. So I have 3 dogs right now, and one of them's a puppy, and they're all playing right around the base of this. So let me get back to, we were walking around. We went to a bookstore, the local bookshop. Oh, where's the book I bought? Oh my gosh, it's over there. Hold on, I want to show it off. Okay, you want to be on camera? Sorry, you had to see me. You got the full Garage Geek there, whether you wanted it or not. So I finally picked up this. I've had my eye on it for a while, but this was in the used. They have a very small used section. Their used section is vintage, so it's a very small shop, and everything is full price. And their used stuff, the prices are not good, but it was 10, and that's very comparable. Like these are produced in the UK. And I actually collect these. I don't have a lot of them. I've probably got about 15 of these versions. They're called this SF Masterworks. So when I saw this, and it's one that I've been wanting, and I wanted to, at least buy something in the shop. So I bought this. And my husband actually ended up getting 2 books, so that was good. So anyways, that's what I purchased at the local record store. Then we were at CVS, and they had all of these, what do you call those? Pez dispensers. My husband likes them, and they had a run of 6 Christmas ones. I should have brought them to show off, and they're $2.50 each. So I bought all 6 for him. He said, "Oh, I want to display them for Christmas." I'm like, whatever. So if my husband wants something, I usually just buy it for him. I'm just like, okay. I mean, I buy so much stuff, I can't deny him. So after that, yeah, we were walking around. Where else did we go? So we finally just ended up, going for dinner, and we have this. It's right down the street from us, like 2 blocks. It's like right at the top. So we walked around, kind of made a loop, and it's this restaurant called Foleros. If you want to look it up, it's in Highland Park. That's where I live, Los Angeles. It's this real old style. Like, I mean, it's been there for years. I've been going to that place about 20 years, and my husband's been going there about 30 years. And it's not changed much in that time. It's very like home style. The food is relatively very cheap. So I'm going to show you, we always go there and we get this rosé wine. It's the worst wine ever, but we always get it. It's just, we like the flavor of it. And so they have these gigantic jugs in here. I'll show you. So there's in the back, you can see the freezers. At the bottom, they have these gigantic jugs, and this wine is like cheap. And so we always get this carafe. It's like $17 for this big thing, and that's probably like $5 worth of wine, but we always get it. And man, do we get drunk off that. Like, I was so tipsy the whole rest of the night, but we walked, so it was totally fine. And I have to show the picture because later you can see my husband finish his food. He was so drunk. We were both, and I was like texting everybody, "Hey, look at the drunk bitch." And he was laughing about it. Like, later he's probably going to be mad. What? But at the time he was laughing. It was really fun. We had a good time. So yeah, I came home, and I was just like, I didn't keep drinking after I came home. And so then I got tired, and I just didn't feel like doing the Friday night chat, which is understandable, right? So we went in, and for the rest of the night, we just watched trash TV. We watched a couple episodes of the latest Amazing Race. We really like that show. Okay. So yesterday, I think it was, yesterday, I got a box in the mail, and I had ordered 100 comics from this seller that I know. It's like the third time I've gotten a box from him. 100 comics, 50 cents each. It's a phenomenal deal. A lot of beaters in there. It's okay. I don't mind having, you know, some comics that are a little bit beat up in my collection, but I'm just going to show off a couple. So I got this all new Speed Buggy, and the reason I'm showing it off, I mean, that looks like a cross between Shaggy from Scooby-Doo and Beaker from the Muppets. Maybe it's the same artist, but I mean, Speed Buggy. I don't know if that was a TV show or not. It sounds familiar. Speed Buggy. Yeah, but you could see like it's got a mark here. But you know, remember I got these for 50 cents. And it was an originally a 30-cent comic. Pretty cool. I got this beautiful, look at this 10-cent Dell. I love these 10 centers. And yes, they have like writing on them, but it's a 10-cent comic book from the early 60s, possibly the late 50s. I'd have to open it up and see. And this is The Chief, #2. But what a cool cover that is. Look at how, that is just stunning. I got a bunch of like religious comics, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I just don't run across these very often. And they're always interesting when I get them. I only have like about 5 or 6 of this type of comic in my collection. I went ahead. I mean, I got 1, 2, 3, like 6 more that I'm just going to show off. So first off, it seems like there's one artist for all of these comics. So first, the company is called Spire, and every comic is by Al Hartley. He must have run that company, or he was the only cover artist or something. I haven't opened them up yet, but I got Adventure with the Brothers. Hang in there. So that is a pretty awful cover. I must say. I got another one. The Cult Escape, again with the Brothers. That one's not too bad. And for some reason, I got 2 of those, so hopefully I'll be able to give that away to somebody. I got this. I actually am really happy to have this in my collection, Archie's World. It's another Spire Comics. There's a sticker on it, but I'm hopeful I'll be able to get that off. But that's a cool Archie cover. But again, it's Al Hartley. I'm wondering if he's one of the Archie artists, because that really does look like Archie. The art that is around the Archie comics from, what's the company? I guess they're just called Archie Comics. Here's another Archie. This one is Archie's Festival. And this one was the best. I'm so glad to have this one. Again, these are from the Spire Company by Al Hartley. I love it. Look at that. That is awesome. She's dreaming of getting married to Archie, and she is decked out regally like a queen. Well, you know what? Good for her. We have the same teeth. But yeah, again, by Al Hartley. Sorry if you didn't like seeing those religious comics. I have no problem. Like I said, I have no problem with that, or the fact that they're religious. Any comic art is fine to me. I just happen to get a bunch. And I don't actually see those a lot. Now, I saved the best for last because I got this. It is the illustrated story of boating. Like, what kid would want to read that? The illustrated story of boating. The World Around Us. I'm going to have to admit that that's a gorgeous cover, though. I'm very happy to have this. And it's put out by Classics Illustrated. I don't know if that's good. There we go. Classics Illustrated. But, you know, what kid would want this instead of Superman? Poor kid had to get this. But I'm happy to have it. Like, what a cool cover. Oh, Lord. All right. Let's go ahead and... Oh, I want to talk about this. Now, I promised everyone that I would be reading 2 books, and I was so ambitious. I was going to read both of these books by today. That didn't happen. So I really, really wanted to read them both at the same time because I asked people in my video, which ones should I read? And they came out about equal. And so I started reading this, and I was going to read this concurrently. I wanted to finish them both. Like I said, that didn't happen. I started reading this book, and I started it. I would get a couple of pages, and I would get so sleepy. And in fact, on the 3rd day that I started reading it, I read about 3 paragraphs, and I was like, with my dog, Angel, I'm like, Angel, no. And I just, lights on, everything. I was too lazy to get up. I put the covers over my head right in this chair. It reclines. And man, I was out for like 2 hours. Not because this book is boring. It's not. I'm going to talk about it in a second. But I think I needed the sleep. I always, on vacation, like I go to bed late, and I'm going to show you some of the movies that I watch. And then I get up real early because my sister-in-law brings the dog in to our room at like 6:30 in the morning, and that always wakes me up because he wants to get on the bed, and he's more than capable of jumping up, but he won't. He just sits there on the bed and, like, at the edge of the bed and looking up, and then he'll walk around, and what it is. It is what it is. So I always wake up. And so anyways, back to this book. Oh, if you're lucky, I can end this with a WhatNot rant today. Do you want a WhatNot rant? Okay, I'm going to give you a WhatNot rant. Okay, so the Stardroppers. So I'm only 50 pages, and that's actually 1/3. This is fascinating. This is such an interesting book. I'm going to briefly tell you the premise. So there's a guy who goes to England to investigate this phenomenon that's going on around the world, and it's basically everybody is hooked on these devices, and they're nicknamed Star Droppers because basically the devices allow you to eavesdrop on what people think are alien thought waves. And people like listen to these for hours and hours on end. They get hooked. They think it's a way to explore another consciousness. It's basically a metaphor for like drugs or LSD, I think. But anyways, the way they present it is fascinating, where there's these devices that mostly youth are hooked on to the point where they like drop out, they stop eating, they run away from home, they form these communes. They're like we're introduced to one of them because she goes up to this guy and she steals the one that he has. Now, every manufactured device is different because they tune in on different wavelengths. And it can't be scientifically explained. It's just, so this guy is trying to like understand it and debunk it, right? It's put out to the public, and whatever crazy ideas happen, the public goes with it, right? So it's never like really confirmed that they're really listening to like alien intelligence, at least this far in the book. And then every so often, someone will just disappear. Like they just vanish, and people think that they've reached higher consciousness and that the aliens pull them to wherever they are. It's not explained yet. So I guess that's what this is. Like someone is being dropped. So Stardropper is basically the nickname for eavesdropping on alien intelligence. This book is fascinating, and I'm only 50 pages into it. I absolutely love it. It's so good, and I'm so glad I started to read this. Like these old books, you wouldn't think, but every one of them that I've read so far, they've been good and they've been fun. There's only like the 3rd or 4th one that I read. I mean, there was one, the A.E. Van Vogt, that I didn't like too much, but it wasn't it wasn't this. I listened to that one. So I'm hoping that Doc Savage will be good as well. And I'm hoping that by next week, I can give you a rundown of both books like I promised. All right, so let's move on to movies, because for reading, that's all I did. I'm listening to a book, and it's actually a really nice book that was recommended by Omnicat, and I forget the name of it, but it's about a woman who has to go to this old mansion and be a caregiver to a woman, an older woman who was accused of murdering the rest of her family when she was young. It's actually a really good kind of gothic book. Yeah, so when I'm done with that, I will review it, but I'm really enjoying it. Okay, let's talk about movies. So I watched this movie. I'm having trouble getting rid of called Paradise. It's, as you can see, it's on Netflix. Now, I talked about this really, really depressing book that I read last week, which was called Tender as a Flesh. Ugh, I don't want to revisit that. So I love sci-fi, so I started watching this movie, and what do you know? It's so depressing. But wow, was it good. Like, I couldn't believe that I just stumble. Like, I watch these sci-fi movies, I don't know what they're about. To me, it looks very B movie. But wow, it was so good. But it does have, like, it's a solid sci-fi movie, and it's got a very depressing message about humanity. So the idea is that you can sell years of your life to, if you can find a donor that matches, and they will suck your years away, and they can take those years and become younger, and you just age. But the interesting thing around this is all the politics involved and the morals, and they explore all that, and I think they did a really good job. But ultimately, this is a depressing movie, and I was already depressed from that other book that I read. But I highly recommend that movie if you like sci-fi. Yeah. Then I've been looking forward to watching this. I guess it's pronounced The Killer. It's got the I, but it's fallen over, which is, reminiscent of what happens in this movie. I love this. It's by David Fincher. He's a director whose career I follow. I really like what he does. The lead actor is great in this role. They have some minor actors, not minor actors. The people in the minor roles, they're also really, really good. This movie will not be for everyone because of the pacing. Like, the first, I don't know, 20 minutes is him on a stakeout, and all he's doing is talking, like giving us his thoughts. If you wouldn't like, and showing us the routine of what it's like in a stakeout, right? So if that sounds like you can't get through that, then this wouldn't be for you. But I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was so good. And some of the action scenes, like, he's fighting a guy in one scene and it looks real. Like, you just kind of feel every punch and every slam. And it's not like, choreographed where you see the actor going like this and it kind of looks fake. No, it's filmed so well. And there's a bunch of scenes in this movie that are memorable. I highly enjoyed this movie, but again, it's not going to be for everyone because of the pacing. If you like David Fincher's other movies, you're going to like this. If you don't mind a slow build up in an action movie, you will like this. This is a really solid movie. However, The Blue Beetle. I was so excited for this movie. I actually heard really good things about it. And I had watched the animated cartoons. It was called Young Justice, I believe. And there's a story arc with the Blue Beetle, and those cartoons were so good. I highly recommend you watch Young Justice. I was like really surprised at how good those cartoons were. And so I was very looking forward to this movie. It's absolute trash. It was so bad from beginning to end. It is just awful. I was like rolling my eyes. I don't know how it misfired so much, and I was really looking forward to this movie. Bad, bad, bad. Blue Beetle, bad. Next, I saw another movie called Next Exit, and this actually had two faces that I'm familiar with. One of them he's one of the sons in the Fall of the House of Usher. His name is Rahul Kohli, I guess. This is very, very low budget, and it goes exactly where you would expect. But in suicide has become accepted because there's evidence of the afterlife. It was actually scientifically proven, and people are starting to see they're being able to be in tune with ghosts, even though they can't really communicate with them. They're being able to see them, and so these two go on a journey. They're kind of forced together, and they're driving to the suicide clinic. And it goes, like I said, it goes exactly where you would expect it to go. And it's a low budget movie, but I actually really enjoyed this movie. My husband was disgusted. Like, he started watching it and he was like so bored. So that might give you some indication, but I don't mind movies that are slow burn. And he just like, he tuned out and he went to another room and he didn't want to watch it anymore. I drove him out. But like I said, I really ended up enjoying this. But like I said, with a caveat, it's low budget, and the ending will not surprise you at all. The next movie I watched, I was on a sci-fi kick, so I watched another very low budget, what I'm assuming is a low budget movie called The Immaculate Room, and it's built on the premise of there's a scientific study that two people who they're locked into a room. They could leave whenever they want, but if they stay for 50 days, they I think they win $1 million or $5 million. I can't remember. It's a lot of money, and it's just what they go through in the 50 days. It's like I said, it's low budget. I enjoyed this one too, right? Like, it is what it is. It's exactly what it sounds. It's low budget. Two people trapped in a room, slowly going crazy. I enjoyed that. Now I'm going to talk about the movie that was the best by far of any movie I watched this week. Wow, was this movie good? And I do not know why I waited so long. Like, I've had this movie on my list for so long to see, and that was Another Round with Mads Mikkelsen. Now, I've mentioned Mads Mikkelsen before, and I know some of you out there, one person particularly, is not a Mads fan, and I do not understand that. He was phenomenal in this movie. This movie was phenomenal. I put this on, and it's foreign language, right? And so my husband can't understand the language, neither can I. So I'm reading the subtitles in English, and he's reading the subtitles in English. And I mean, think about that. You're reading the whole movie in a language that is not your native language. And he liked this movie so much. Like, the other one, like the Immaculate, like that other one I told you, he was gone, but this movie was so well done. Such a good movie. So the premise is there are four teachers at a school, and they're going through midlife crisis for one reason or another. They're not only in their jobs, but in their home lives, they all feel like failures, like they never reach their dreams. And they come up with this idea to scientifically study the effects of alcohol. And that's all I'm going to say about the movie. This scene in particular was so good. It was like so shocking, like how much joy this movie brought. Like, this movie shows you on screen what joy is like. And I'm maybe I'm going to spoil it, because at the beginning he was told that he seems like he's a person that does not have a single ounce of joy in him. And it was like a shocking thing for me to hear. I even turned to my husband. I was like, wow, that is such a horrible thing to say to somebody. But it was true. And by the end, like, he finds joy but there's going to be a lot of tragedy and heartache along the way. But the scene where he expresses that joy was just so well done. I felt it. He was so good. If you are not a Mads Mikkelsen fan out there, you should try this movie. Wow, was it good. 5 stars. Absolutely highest 5-star recommendation. What a damn good movie Another Round is. Couple shows. The Lincoln Lawyer. So my husband and I just watch random shows while we're eating, like, just after I come home from school or whatever, and he wanted to watch this one, The Lincoln Lawyer. I'm like, okay, like he usually picks it and I'm fine with it because it's just, we're watching it. So the reason I really like this is it's filmed in LA, and like they show everywhere in LA and all around LA, Malibu, all places, that I've been to. So it's fun to see all those places, right? But it was actually a really well-written show. It has some really cool arcs. It's a TV show about a lawyer. So having said that, I really enjoyed the first season of this. So I'm looking forward to getting into the second season. Conversely, we finally finished the first season of Chucky, and wow, like my husband doesn't watch my videos anymore, so I could say this show sucks, but he likes it. Oh my God, I hate it. The acting is horrible. Everything about this show is just so bad, but I think it's meant to be that way. It's cheesy. And like fans of Chucky, it's a doll that murders people. If you like, there are rabid fans of Chucky out there. If you like Chucky, then you're going to like this show. But man, is it bad. It's just B-movie trash put into a TV show. My husband likes it. I don't. But I sit there and watch it. I roll my eyes. One of the kid actors is so bad. Like, I'm rolling my eyes every time he tries to make an emotion on the screen. It's like he's got like 3 emotion faces. It's so bad. He's just a young kid, but still, he's not a good actor. Whenever the Chucky doll's running around, you can tell it's a human in some form. Either it's a child or I don't even know how to say it. Like, are we allowed to say? I don't think we're allowed to say midgets anymore, right? That's not a good thing to say. But it's somebody that's human running around in this doll form. It's really funny. But whatever. It's just such a bad show. And I think this is it. This is finally, yeah. I mean, the last picture is my husband all drunk. Okay. Squid Game. It's Squid Game, The Challenge. So the first 5 episodes were released, and I got suckered in. I thought this was season 2 of Squid Game. It's not. We started watching it. I was like, you know what? We put it on. I'm like, this is not Squid Game. Like, this is real. So it is. It's a reality TV show based on Squid Game. And we started watching it, and the beginning is a little wonky. It's just like they kill people, but it's fake, right? So it's like playing laser tag. And the beginning is kind of like silly, but after that, it gets so good. You have to try to, like, by the end of the first episode, I think you're out of the silliness. It actually becomes really interesting, but it's a reality TV show. And you like start to see the way that people act. It's like the cattiest high school. It's like, but it shows you human nature. I thoroughly enjoyed these. We watched all 5 in a row. We didn't go to bed until 2 in the morning because we just had to keep watching it. It's like compulsive TV watching, like binge watching. A friend of mine already said, she's like, I'm not even going to watch it. It's like stupid reality TV show. It's like all other reality TV shows. And that's true. But if you're a fan of the Squid Game show, they reenact all of the different games that are in Squid Game. And so the people in real life, they know the different games and they've strategized for it. But the producers of the show know that. And so they find devious ways to out-strategize the people who have thought it all through. And they really trick them. And what I love is the randomness of how people get eliminated on the show. Like they spend so much time strategizing and being mean to other people and doing these horrible things. And then they just get randomly eliminated, and you're so happy too because you just watch these people being total dicks for a couple of episodes and doing these horrible things. And then it's all for nothing because they just randomly get eliminated. And they think they've outsmarted the game, and then they didn't think of something, and it totally throws them off. It's pretty good. I'm just going to mention one thing. There's actually two pretty funny things, but there's one. This guy is a total jerk. This group of people, they go into the kitchen and they slice up apples and they bring them out for everybody. And it was just an act of kindness. And they're handing out the apples. They're like, hey, everybody, have some apples. And everyone is like, oh, why are they handing out apples? Oh my God, I'm not eating any of those. And they're being like so bitchy. And this one guy goes up to her and he's like the biggest queen. I don't have a problem with queens, but he's a mean queen. And he's like, I don't want your apples. And he's like that. It's so awful. And he's like telling everybody in line, like, just being the biggest bitch. And like the next minute, she gets the opportunity to eliminate someone, and she puts him up for elimination, and everyone they back her up. And I was so happy to see that guy go because he was such a jerk. And you would think that, oh, because I'm gay, I should root, for the gay character. No, that guy was just an ass. And I was so happy to see him eliminated. You don't even know. But that's the fun of this show. I spoiled a little bit of it for you, but it's just one little part of an episode. But it's those kind of things. Like that guy, like, what was he thinking? He's been talking about strategy and he's building up all his alliances, but then he's randomly mean to people to get other people on his side. And then he doesn't think, well, what if that person is given some power? Everyone was given the same amount of power. But she used hers to nominate him, and everyone just fell in line, and they backed her up because, he was such a jerk. I'm going on and on about Squid Game. I am so looking forward to the next couple of episodes because I'm wondering how they're going to do the bridge. Now, the bridge in the original Squid Game, that was so stressful. And I'm wondering, are they going to have everybody like hooked to some kind of harnesses? Are they going to drop onto like some kind of air cushions? I don't know, but I'm really looking forward to the bridge. So, wow, I went on for 37 minutes and I didn't even do my WhatNot rant. Do you still want to hear my WhatNot rant? This is totally my fault. I'm so bad into WhatNot. Like, I haven't stopped. And I really need to. It's like, I'm going to be in debt because of WhatNot. It's so easy to get on there and just buy stuff. And you're putting it on a credit card. And that's the problem with, like, for me, WhatNot, I can't control myself. So there's going to be a point where there's going to be a reckoning in my life, and I just need to stop. But I've been going on every day during my break, and that's another dangerous thing, right? Because I've had free time, so I'm just like, oh, let me go on to WhatNot. Let me see. I won't buy anything. Boom, I'm buying. It's really bad. So anyways, I was on WhatNot yesterday morning. I was on a seller's platform for, like a good couple hours. And I was buying all of the Archie. Nobody wanted them, like nobody. And they were like all $1 each. And so they were even joking because they were going through our box and holding them up, and you would write claim, and then you would get it for $1. If someone else claimed it, then they would run it and you could buy it. Nobody was claiming these things. So I was getting them. I'm trying to build up my Archie, my Betty and Veronica, all of my all of those kind of Jughead. I was buying them all, and they were laughing. Everybody knew, like, oh, this one's going to be for D Molinaro, because that's my handle. It's my name on thing. Oh, by the way, I'm supposed to flash my email for Mr. E. So my email is dmolinaro33@hotmail.com, because WhatNot, YouTube doesn't let you put your email. So DMOLINARO33 at hotmail.com. So mystery, if you, because I've got a lot of doubles of comics, so I'm just gonna send them to him or trade with him or whatever. It's like I've got him and I don't want him. So hopefully you get that. But anyways, what was I talking about? WhatNot. So I was getting all of these, and then I've been on there. I've been helping them clear out there, and so this is a point where I got a little frustrated because I had been buying all of their stock, and they were actually just pulling them out and putting them aside for me. But then they came to a modern Betty and Veronica. It's a modern run. It's got an Adam Hughes cover, right? It's a gorgeous cover, and instead of saying, hey, we're going to put this one aside for D. Molinaro, other people started claiming it. And I'm like, okay, so I bid on it. I actually bid up to $5 for it. It sold for about $7. And I was kind of upset. I mean, I get WhatNot is a seller platform, but I had been basically helping them clear out stock that nobody wanted. I had bought at least 25 of their books. And I just thought they could have given me the first choice. Like, hey, we're actually going to sell it was in their dollar bin, by the way. And they're like, hey, this one might sell, so we're going to give D-Mall the first opportunity to buy this for $5. And then if he doesn't want it, and I could say in the chat, but so, I don't know. I'm being a whiny little bee, I know. But I just thought, I'm the only one that was buying Betty and Veronica's, and all of a sudden, it's a key, and it's like a modern comic with a really cool artist, but I bought all their other ones. Nobody else wanted any of those, and all of a sudden, because it's a key, now everybody wants it. No, they're not collectors in there. They're not actually collecting the comics. They want it so that so many of the people in there are resellers. I see them all. They have their own shows. They buy things, and then they try to sell it for more. I'm fine with that. I totally am. But I was the only one buying any of those comics. And then, I lost it for $2. Yes, I should have bid more. But I thought to myself, why am I going to pay, this astronomical amount for a comic book? Which, I try to limit myself because I buy so much. I'd already, spent a bunch of money in there. So, what do you think? Am I being a whiny little bee? Most likely. But, it's this idea of buyer loyalty, right? Like they knew what comics I was buying. They were holding them up and saying, okay, D, we're going to put this in your pile. We're going to go ahead and put this in the pile. And I wouldn't even have to respond because yes, I wanted all of those. And then they came to one that they knew I would want, but I've already explained all of this already. And this is already 43 minutes. So WhatNot rant. I don't know. It's just like I said. It gave me a bad feeling, and I know they made a little bit of extra money on that one, right? $7. But I'm seriously wondering if I will ever go back to them. And like I said, they were going through all their boxes, and I was buying up a bunch of stock that no one would ever buy. And yeah, it just left a really bad feeling in my mouth. So maybe it's what I needed to stop going on WhatNot, right? Because like if you go to a local comic book shop or a local record store and you build up a relationship with the people who work there, they start to know you. They start to expect what you want, and so they can, oh, we got this in. They'll let you know first to see if you want first dibs. But WhatNot is just an anonymous platform. You don't see the people who are bidding or buying. Yeah. I guess I've gone on too long. I'm a whiner. I'm a WhatNot whiner. First world problems. Okay, everybody, please. You can call me a whiny bee in the comments. It's okay. This has gone on long enough. I want to wish everybody a great Thanksgiving. I'm going to try to put out another Thanksgiving video because I saw another new YouTuber who is a comic. I'm getting all these new comic book people in my feed, which is great. And he's struggling. He's a brand new YouTuber, and he wants us to show the 5 comics that we're most thankful for. And I just did the 5 vinyl that I'm most thankful for. So that's a pretty easy thing for me to do. And then I'll of course plug his channel. So all of you that went, I know Morton did, Morton Ustad. So thank you so much for doing that. He went to the, and he even left a comment. He went to the person that I asked, and he subbed him. And actually, he was at 24 or 26, and he's at 34 now. So I'm hoping that my video gave him that boost, which is nice, right? So he went up about 10 more subs. Anyways, this video has gone on so long. I'm just talking today. All right, everybody. Please comment. You know, I always love my comments. I'm gonna be reading this. Maybe I'll review this comic book, because maybe it's actually fascinating. Who knows, right? The illustrated story of boating. I want to again, I'm thankful for all of you who watch my videos and who comment on what you see. All right, again, everybody, I want to thank you for the support.